Welcome to the Wake.Show. As everybody knows, a show needs an intro. This is that intro. I am Fisher in the foreground, Sam in the back. I forgot to turn on my camera light. I'll have to reach up and click it like that. Hey, there we go.
There we go.
Welcome to the Wake.Show, everybody, and good morning. My name is Chris Fisher. Is that a little zoomed in there? All right, well, no,
there we go.
All right. And also want to welcome in our first sponsor for the first 15 minutes. Thank you so much, Single Source Insurance, for those of you that are going to be out at King of the Beach this weekend in Madeira. Huge fishing tournament, 600, 700 boats going out, King Fishing Tournament. Make sure you track down our friends from a Single Source. Check. I see I'm a little overmodulated there. Make sure you track down our friends. Single Source Insurance will be out there. Giving away a lot of stuff, including these buckets here. These big. If you like to fish, how cool are these things? All right, you got a handle on the bottom. This is a rope here. You dump it out. You know. How you doing, Sam?
Great.
All right. Chris McCarty will not be with us today. He has, or he might join us a little bit later on, but he has he's got stuff going on that an emergency. That being said, good morning, Robert, Kane, Scott, Rachel, my mom. Good morning, Mom. Just got off the phone with my mother on the way into the show today, Sam.
Great.
So we'll start there.
Okay.
Last night, I'm doing my gig out at a Masteries. And by the way, I don't know. I don't think we're going to do a full hour today. I have a feeling this is going to be a little, or I don't know, maybe Sam, you'll calm my anxiety a little bit and we'll get into a groove and do, an hour or more. But my anxiety is peaking this morning, today, and I think it's for a couple of reasons, a couple of triggers. We're also going to talk about triggers because yesterday or a couple days ago we were having a discussion about this around the office, and Cords was like, I'm going to put words in his mouth that were not coming out of his mouth. Basically, screw you and your triggers. If in a moment where all of a sudden you feel your emotions, rising. In any particular instant, well, then get control of those things and act like a human being. That's not what he said, right? That's not what he said.
That's not what he said.
That's not what he said at all.
Yeah.
But
it's definitely a what's it called? You're phrasing it.
Yeah, I'm paraphrasing.
Paraphrasing.
Yeah,
that's what the word is. Yes.
My mom says, "Good morning, sweetie." So last night, I'm out doing my gig at Masteries. Right, it's a trivia night, 7:00, and one of the questions was. The question was, a lumpectomy is the removal of a lump or something like that, or a tumor or something like that, on what part of the body? That was the question. Well, as I'm going into the question, Sam, I said, I go to read it, and I go, a lumpectomy. I'm like, this can't be right. That seems like a made-up term. What is a lumpectomy? And everybody shouts, no, it's a real thing. I was like, okay, so I continue on with the question, right? So at the end of the game, I shut down, my stuff, and I'm getting ready to send emails off. So I open up my emails, and the first thing I see is an email from my mom to the brothers and some family that she's getting a lumpectomy.
Stop.
Yeah. So I guess it is a real thing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we had a scare with my mom. It's been a year and a half now, and she went through the process. Hi, Mom. Cancer free. But I guess something has come back, and so she's going to end up getting a lumpectomy. And I talked to her today, and she has calmed my fears that this is now. Listen,
she's going to be fine.
She's going to be fine, and when it comes to stuff like this, you can never, it's cancer, and you never know. But she said it's just the size of the doctor's pinky nail, and it's really small. They got it early. Everything should be fine. She may not even have to go through radiation in the end, but we'll see. But so
so that's causing your anxiety.
I don't know, but there's that, and then this morning, I get a text from Ed. You guys know Special Ed. Well, I don't even like calling him Special Ed anymore. The guy's now my boss, technically, for doing these events. But Ed Gruby, and he was on me about something, and it has to do with contacting our brides when we do these weddings, contacting our brides right after he sends an email us DJs are supposed to follow up and say, hey, how you doing? I'll be your DJ.
Okay.
And just very simple, and no big deal, whether it's an email or a text or a phone call, and just say, hey, this is who I am. If you have any questions beforehand, before we get close, then feel free to contact me. But otherwise, I will contact you about 2 weeks out to start setting up things so we can finalize everything.
Okay.
And Sam, that I have issues with reaching out, contacting people, be it by phone or email, whatever that is, by text.
Yeah.
I don't know where it comes from. Just to give you a little a story from earlier in the week. I've known this guy, Andrew McMahon, for 15 years. I met him through my days at 97X. And we've become friends. We've stayed in touch over the years. He's gone through a couple bands. One of them was something corporate. Can you hear the anxiety in my voice today too?
A little bit.
I feel shaky.
That's okay.
Today.
I mean, like, everyone has off days. I have bad anxiety too. I had a really bad anxiety day yesterday. Yeah. So I feel you.
Now, when you're going through something like that, do you know what, so Cords can make fun of us, what triggers that, or you sometimes just don't know?
Sometimes I don't know, and I'll just get anxious, and I'm sure that you can relate to that. Sometimes you just get anxious. Sometimes you do know. Sometimes there's just like a cause of it, and you just kind of like start to overthink and snowball down, which I'm sure you can relate to. So it depends. Yesterday was kind of just nothing, and I'm good today, so it's all good.
Kate, by the way, says it's too early to be overmodulated. Are we still overmodulated? Or are we okay? I back it off a tad there. So I get that text from him, and that makes me nauseous because now my anxiety, not being able to reach out to people the way that I'm supposed to, has now affected Ed, and so that makes me nauseous. Literally,
because you haven't reached out to a bride that you are assigned to. Is that why?
Right.
Okay.
Now their wedding's way down the road, but here's the thing. His part of what Ed is great at when it comes to his company is, and that he prides himself on, is that we are great at communicating. Or he is,
probably a great personal company, like trying to make it special. Yeah.
Make sure that the bride could, because if you're communicating with the bride, then they feel a lot better.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Obviously. So then I'm nauseous this morning, even shaking, when I see that text from him. And, and I said, I'm sorry. And I'll make sure I contact these brides today. So I think between last night and this morning, my anxiety's up. Oh, and there's a third thing, Sam.
Okay.
So yesterday I went to Dr. MJ.
Correct.
Because I want to go down this path of medical marijuana to see if that can help my situation. Mm-hmm. And yesterday, as I'm getting ready to go in, I was very confused on their process, where I was even supposed to go, and this and this and this, and so I find out that I was supposed to have this form filled out before I went in there, and if this stuff wasn't filled out before I went in, we'd have to reschedule and pay another $50. Well, that started that yesterday because I know what's going to happen, and if that were to happen, my wife would take my head off, and because that kind of stuff does not make sense to her. It makes zero sense to her and so many other people in my life. The most simple things. How could you not just open a form and fill it out?
So you knew about it or no?
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't know about the form because the email that they had sent me did not come through to my iCloud account for whatever. Longer story longer.
So you didn't, that's all I was asking. So you didn't know up front about it?
No.
Okay.
So she finally got an email through to a different account. I clicked on it and realized it's going to be like a 20-minute process. Well, my appointment's in 20 minutes.
Great.
See, she's already yelling at me, and it didn't even happen. So I was a bad citizen, and I filled out this form, this survey, because it's via a website, mm-hmm. While I was driving.
What?
Yes, while I was driving for the duration of my 20-minute drive, I was filling out this form, or these forms before I got there. So I made it in time. I hit submit right at 9 o'clock. When I walked in the door at like 9:03, it was there. She had it. It was ready to go. So I didn't. But here's the thing. It was asking for files to upload from other doctors, which I did not have. And then come to find out what I needed from another doctor, be it a physician or a psychiatrist, something that says I have an anxiety disorder or that I've been prescribed.
Which is what I thought it was, yeah.
Right. And so I'm sitting in there going, oh my God, I can't believe this. I'm going to waste all this money. I'm going to go home and tell my wife, and she's, going to lose her mind. And so I think that was yesterday, and that's still weighing on me because I don't know if they're going to get the proper records that they need from the people that I gave them information from. And I think I'm going to have to end up tracking down somebody quickly and go, hey, can you diagnose me? Can you officially diagnose me?
I thought
with
you went
something?
to someone, though.
I did. This guy over here, this John Toms guy. But there was no official we met 2 times. I didn't really click with him, so I cut off my 3rd time going to him.
Right.
But had I known...
You would have just
gone. I would have gone and been like, oh, yes.
I thought you went to someone before him, though.
Oh, yeah. I've gone it's been a while.
And no one's diagnosed you at that place either?
Well, I don't know.
Okay.
There's never been we've through the years that I've gone to different therapists, we've discussed different things throughout the years, from general anxiety disorder to manic depressive to bipolar to a couple other things, and I've been on anti-anxieties and antidepressants in the past, at night Ambien, Xanax, stuff like that. So I don't know if officially anywhere I've ever been diagnosed with anything in particular. I think I have. Because
you have, because there's no way they would have prescribed you that without a cause. Like,
True.
They definitely documented a cause.
So that would have been my physician when I was taking Zoloft back in the day, and then Xanax.
There was a cause then. They have documentation.
So, but I go to give them her information, Dr. Rena Diaz, and I see that her office is permanently closed.
Oh, great.
And so I'm like, if she retired or something, and they're like, just give us the information. We'll see what happens. So I don't know where I am with that. But what sucks is, man, I really would have liked to have my medicine.
So do you have to go back then and pay another fee to figure it out?
She said, she told me, wait until, no.
Okay.
As long as I get some records to it, get something to them. So I'm thinking if they can't track down my records through that primary care that I was going to, because that's been also more than 5 years. That was like 6-7 years ago, at least. So then I might have to call my current primary care, and I don't know if this will work or not, and just get, hey, listen, this is the situation, man. Can I come in or whatever? You diagnose me as, with general anxiety disorder. So but I don't know if that's, a physician will just do that or not. So
yeah.
So I'm a little anxious about that, because obviously I don't want to waste, like you were just saying, if I got a window and I end up wasting money, I won't hear the end of it. It'll drive me that moment, the anxiety in that moment, plus her on top of me.
Is Lauren supportive of you trying to get medical?
Yes, but
okay.
She is not supportive of me
cost.
Ever wasting a nickel, a penny.
Yeah, I get it.
So that's the way it would register to her, and it would not likely be one of those moments where she goes, "It's okay, I understand that you have some issues. We'll work through it together." It'll be, what the F? There's an email right here that says specifically you needed to fill out this. That email was sent on this date. Da 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 da. It's on you. And so I hope I can get that resolved without having to spend any more money.
Okay.
So that's where I am. I'm sorry. Hey, happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Hey, welcome
but
to
guess what? You want to hear a beacon of light?
Please.
On Wednesday, we have our 100th episode coming up.
Wow, I'm very excited.
Everyone should tune into that. It is going to be very exciting. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we'll have some giveaways that day.
Yeah.
We'll be down in the main room, which we're very excited about.
Some giveaways. We have some performances. We have some guests. We have a bunch of different stuff lined up. So make sure you tune in to the Wake.Show on Wednesday.
So also, speaking of anxiety, since we're in the arena of anxiety, I want to share something else with you. And I apologize, because I feel like I'm using you as a therapist, and it's a one-way thing. So you go ahead and lay down your problems right here in the comment section. And we'll give you a few minutes too, and we'll start talking about the issues and the things that make you anxious and whatnot as well. So Eric Stratman, as you recall, for those of you who've been watching since the beginning, since almost the beginning, we've had on Eric Stratman from T&L Nutrition Coaching, but we haven't had him on the last 3 weeks, and it's been because of my anxiety. It's because when I go to set it up every week, it's gotten harder and harder and harder, and to the point where I can't even just text a friend of mine that I have known for 15 years to say, hey, you ready to go on the show tomorrow? There's this weird anxiety that's been setting in. It has to do with shame because I'm gaining weight. I feel, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I'm not going to take you down my crazy because then it won't make sense. Just know that it's there. So he texted me the other day. He's like, hey, man, I miss you. And I was like, I miss you too. And I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. He's going to be on the show next Wednesday. So we'll be talking to him.
Cool.
And talk, yeah. And I don't know. And just seeing if we can one day get to the bottom of that part of my crazy. But I forgot. I got onto a tangent and forgot to tell you something else. Earlier in the week, I go to text a friend of mine, Andrew McMahon, like I said.
Yeah.
It took over 30 minutes. 30 minutes to text somebody I've known for 15 years. Just to go, hey man, how are you doing? Your show that we're going to go to in Orlando is sold out. Can you get us on the guest list? If not, no worries, right? It's a conversation we've had a million times over the last 15 years.
Yeah.
I sat there on that couch, Sam, for over 30 minutes with my phone like this. It doesn't make any sense to me. But enough of that. I let you in on my part of my crazy. The Wake.Show. I've warned you since the beginning. This will be a part of it because I think it's important to the overall conversation here in America as far as mental health goes. In those days like today, when I'm not going to pretend. If I were on the radio, if I were on television, I'd have to pretend. And I'd have to come in and go, good morning, welcome Tampa Bay. What another beautiful day we have on tap for you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm perfect today. Look, my makeup's perfect. My hair's perfect. My clothes are perfect. And I'm ready to have a perfect show with everybody else. It's so perfect. I wish I could be more like that because I would be doing a lot better in life. Financially, probably. But you get like Jesse Cage used to say, warts and all. You get warts and all when it comes to me. So thank you for being here. I don't know why you are, but thank you for being here. Sam, we're going to have some fun today. She found something that we have to pull up.
Yes, we need to go over this.
All
it's
right.
Very important for all parents out there to know.
Yeah, and as you see in the body, right, in the Happy Friday, the 2018 list of texting acronyms that every parent needs to know.
It's like a joke, but it isn't. It's not a joke, but it looks like a joke.
Well, yeah, right. And so... I'm the millennial here. Now, granted, she's not a teenager. She's 21.
Yeah, but I know for a fact that these are not being used.
Right. So we'll go, yay, Joey's in Long Island today. I like that every couple of days, Joey's in a different part of the world. Hey, Joey.
Now I have Dark Blue by Jack's Mannequin stuck in my head because that's his band, right?
Yeah. So, yeah, he was...
I Googled it because I was like, I definitely know that band.
Yep. It was Something Corporate originally, then Jack's Mannequin, and that's Dark Blue, Dark Blue. Have you ever been alone in a crowded room? But
that's
I'm here
a good
with
song.
you.
It's a good song. That was a hit.
It was, yeah. It was one we played for a long time at 97X.
Yeah.
And then now he's in a band called Andrew McMahon in the Wilderness, and they'll be coming through.
In the Wilderness.
In the Wilderness, yep. He has some great songs on there, too, if you haven't heard any of his newer stuff over the past couple of years. Cecilia and the Satellite is one that you want to track down. But anyway, and I also... So here's the thing. We have the 100th episode. Here's another thing, Sam. We have the 100th episode coming up, right? We're going to have a lot of fun with it. And I would love... to pipe in Andrew McMahon for the 100th episode.
That'd be cool.
The chances of him saying yes, if I were to message him and go, hey man, can you come on the show? Can I pipe you in next Wednesday? The chances are 99.9%. The only way he could not be there is if it was a scheduling conflict. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yet, I can't do it.
You got to send that text right now while I have the pressure on you. You need to text him. You text him, and then I will start the texting list, actually, on that topic.
What? What do you mean?
The list of texting acronyms. So send Andrew a text right now, because I think that would be a good segment. You got this, man. Everyone in the comments, right? You got this. And I'm about to brief you on the 2018 texting acronyms that every parent should know. All right, so... Do you want to pull it up while you're sending the text so that they can look at the screen with me?
No. We're going to do this right here.
Oh, okay. Then I will wait.
All right. Here we go. Hey, man, I hope all is well, period. Looking forward to your show coming up, period. Sorry.
That's fine.
It's so stupid.
No, it's not. That's nice.
Hey, man, I have a new television show, and we are about to celebrate our 100th episode period. I would love to pipe you in via Skype or Facebook Messenger, comma, some kind of video call, period. Should I go through your manager for that question mark? Is it the same guy that I emailed last time to have you on my last radio show, question mark?
And you said what date it was, right? Next Wednesday? Just so that
Thank
he
you.
knows.
Thank you.
Yeah. Other than that, sounds good.
All right, so we'll put that parenthetically. Next Wednesday.
Around noon.
Next Wednesday. What's the date on the May 2nd?
May 2nd.
All right.
Around noon.
It's funny. I don't even know why I'm shaking.
Yeah, but you got this.
I know this guy forever. Well, here's what going back to my mental health, I think what happened, somebody along the way suggested Dr. O'Brien, and you'll see him. I think he is the resident psychiatrist or psychologist that they have on Bay News 9. I know at least he was years ago. I don't know if he's still there or not. But he's the one that suggested what I may, but the roots of my problems may lie in something that looks like PTSD. And
did you email Kelly, by the way?
I did, and she emailed me back, and then I didn't email her back.
Oh, we'll get on that. Was she receptive?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so anyway, Ian, I get the same anxiety when I text Luke. That's how you know it's true love, he said. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Send that text.
All right. All right, sent. It's sent.
Woohoo! Nice.
I'm sweating. Now let's get to...
It's all good. Let's get to the texting acronyms.
That makes more sense, Ian. It makes more sense.
All right.
Also, thank you so much once again to our sponsor. Yeah, our sponsor for the first 15 minutes of the show. Thank you for sponsoring my crazy.
Ooh, you're getting retargeted.
I'm what?
You're getting retargeted in your ads at the top.
That's funny. I never heard back from them, though. So what she's talking about is Neptune. They have flood insurance, I guess, and they were thinking about having me be the voice of their their brand, but I haven't heard back. So I guess I didn't sound enough like Neptune.
No, I'm sure they're getting some stuff started up at their company.
Yeah.
But.
Okay. Steve, you just need an assistant to do these things for you. That way, no anxiety. You just say it and they do it. I've thought about that over the years, Steve. A couple of things that trips me up there. One is money. Now, back in the day when I did have money, that I wish I would have. But here's what happens in my head. Something starts yelling at me. All right? Something in my head starts yelling at me that I should be able to handle these simple tasks of emails, texts, paying bills on time, those kinds of things. And I start beating myself up really, really hard to the point where sometimes it even gets dark. And I go, no, you can do this. You just start getting like that. And so then it's a vicious cycle. And here we go. So, Adam, hold your phone up to the camera so we can all anxiously await the reply bubbles. There's no reply bubbles yet. Good morning, Max. How you guys doing? All right, before we get to the texting thing, Sam, let's go ahead and go over On This Day. We do On This Day at the beginning of the show to put things into perspective, to remind us that whatever is putting fear in our hearts today, coming out of the news, will likely not result in the end of the world.
Oh my God, that's a huge thing on this day.
Yeah, it will one day be a footnote on this day in history. So here we go, right at the top of the list. On this day, in 4,977 BC, the universe came into existence.
That's crazy. That's insane.
You've never heard this before?
Well, not today. Like on this day.
Yeah, there was, it was an old. Well, this one, it says universe according to Kepler here, so I want to read this one.
Whatever, Kepler.
So, according to on this day in 4,977 BC, the universe is created according to a German mathematician and astronomer Johannes Kepler. Considered a founder of modern science, Kepler is best known for his theories explaining the motion of the planets. Let's see here. Kepler's research was slow to gain widespread traction during his lifetime, but it later served as a key influence for Sir Isaac Newton. I want to get to the part where... all right, so there you go.
You know what's funny?
The universe is only 5,000 years old.
Because North and South Korea had their like big summit and like peace talks today for the first time in 65 years. That'll probably definitely be an on this day for like years to come.
That's right.
If it like holds.
If it holds.
Even if it doesn't, it'll probably still make it on this day.
Yeah, I don't know, because we've been here before. And it might be it'll be on this day
65
somewhere.
65 years, yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Well, I saw this morning a little side-by-side of those two hugging, and that same picture like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, and, nothing's happened. So
yeah, we'll see.
Here's where we are with that. We will see, because...
It's interesting.
We will see.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's still a lot of game to play there.
Yeah, it's all right.
All right, the Parliament passes the Tea Act on this day in 1773. I'm assuming that's that tax that we ended up revolting against eventually.
Yes, because that's in 1773 and in 1774.
All right, let's see. On this day in 2009, GM announces plans to phase out the Pontiac. Did you ever own a Well, you're too young.
I didn't. Well, I don't know anybody who's owned a Pontiac, actually.
What do you do now?
You had a Pontiac?
I believe that I had this little tiny car. What the hell was that thing called? I want to say it was a Pontiac. It was a two-seater. I can't even remember. A Fiero?
Oh, okay.
Not Ferrari. Fiero, I think. I want to say that was a Pontiac. Whatever that car was, the coolest feature about that car, because I was like in my late teens when I got it, is it had speakers in the headrest right behind you.
Ooh.
So that was awesome.
That's cool.
That was really cool. On this day in 1978, Afghan president is overthrown and murdered. You see anything else that jumps out at you? 1993, DA announces negligence caused Brandon Lee's death. Are you familiar with Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son?
Where do you see
this? He was killed in a
here?
movie. Right here.
Oh.
He was killed during a shooting of a movie.
Yeah.
Instead of it being a fake gun,
yeah,
it was a real gun.
Yeah, actually, I did know that.
Before.
Yeah.
Right, that was on this day in the 1993.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The Curse of Bruce Lee.
That's insane.
Rocky Marciano retires as world heavyweight champion on this day in 1956. And there you go. Anything else you want me to click on? Feeling good about it?
Good.
All right, only a couple things that I brought to the table today as far as discussion goes. The big news coming out of yesterday, Bucks draft last night. We'll just hit on that real quickly. Bill Cosby found guilty. I know that was earlier yesterday, so most of you have had time to digest that. And I wish Chris was here today, because...
We'll save it. Do you want to save it with him? Because I feel like he definitely needs to put his opinion.
Yeah, we'll come back to this. We'll come back to this next week on Tuesday when Chris is back, because... we were talking conspiracy theories yesterday, and he brought some up that I had never even heard of, and it had to do with black men. And so I'm very curious on what he thinks about this. I don't want to put any. Yeah, the Pontiac Fiero is an Ocoee Ferrari. Max, you nailed it, buddy. You nailed it, because I was still living in Ocoee at the time. You nailed it, and it was a Pontiac. Yeah, The Crow. It was. Thanks, Matt. The movie was The Crow. If you never, good movie too. If you've never seen that one. And then what the hell? I keep getting these are all.
It's okay. That's the one you wanted to click out of anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, I know. I think I got a virus running around or something running around my computer, because I keep. I don't know.
This is the story that I want to do.
All right. So what was the other thing? Oh, the Bill Cosby thing. So all right, we don't need to talk about Bill Cosby. We'll save that for next week, because you guys already know the deal on it. And I just want to hear more, because Chris McCarty has it's not a personal theory. I guess it's a conspiracy that's out there, that when black men are on the rise in Hollywood, that or they reach a certain point, that there is this emasculation of the black man in Hollywood. And so he started rattling off all these guys that when they reached a certain point, all of a sudden they took these roles of like they're wearing dresses and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, let's save this for the show, buddy. So we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up next week. But let's get to this story. And 2018 texting acronyms, new lingo for parents to watch out for. These are ridiculous. Well, I mean, I guess they're not ridiculous. I'm this old. I mean, just sound old when I say this is ridiculous.
I'm on their Facebook, and they had posted the article, and every single comment was like, this is ridiculous. No one texts like this. Who texts like this? It's still like, this is all wrong, like all this stuff. So
I also think as they're researching stories like these, whoever researches stories like these, you start, I don't know, talking right. Maybe a few kids out here, here and there use some of this stuff, but like all teenagers using
People
all
are
this
talking in code now. Like numbers are correlating to. That's not how it works.
Right. All right. So from WFLA.com, acronyms used in text messages aren't new, but online lingo is always changing and evolving, and it's important for parents to identify slang that could signal dangerous behaviors. Would you know these acronyms, what they meant, if you saw them on your child's phone or computer? So
let's see.
Let's see. Make sure you guys can see it as we go along here. 9 or CD9. I wish they would explain some of this stuff, because what does that even mean?
It doesn't make any sense. I don't know.
CD9.
It doesn't make any sense.
And then 99, our parents are, I wish they would explain these things.
121. Like what? Let's chat in a private message.
All right, the 143, that's been around forever. We used to use that for those of us that carried around beepers.
Yeah.
You know what the 143 comes from?
I thought it came from a beeper, right?
Well, what it is the number of letters in each one of those words.
Oh, okay.
So that's where I love you comes from. Now, I hate you being 182. I hate you. Okay, I get it. I hate you. I hate you, I guess.
I guess.
Sex, F. So 53X.
That's so funny to me. What?
I don't know. Today, okay.
That makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, we can figure that one out. Thank you.
Just type, that's 4. It's literally 5 letters to 4 letters. Just type the word.
Forever and ever.
I like see you for sex.
Like, have
see
you ever,
for 6.
millennial, have you ever used any of these?
I have never in my life used some of the, I've seen like, they have a couple on here where it's like very typical ones. Like, there's one like, to be honest, like TBH, but like, it's a very typical one. That's not like anything out of the ordinary, but some of these are just absolutely like, what is going on? I probably use acronyms more than most people or a lot of people my these
age.
Acronyms,
not these here, but even like IDK.
Yeah, but that's like I'm saying, like TBH, IBK, like those are, or IDK, that's like typical.
SMH.
Yeah, that's all very typical. This is like, you better watch out because your kids are doing dirty things. Like these are not the same level of acronym like IDK.
Lauren says that ASL goes way back to AOL chat rooms.
It does. She's correct. That one's, yeah, but like I said, some of these are fine. They've been around for a long time, but some of these are just like, what?
All right. What's your ADR? Okay, address. What's your address? AFK, away from keyboard. Yeah, ASL. Yeah, she's right. That goes way, way back. That's one of the first.
GNOC, get naked on camera.
That must be one of the newer ones.
Must be. Must be one of the newer ones.
CU46, CU for sex. Okay, that makes sense, I guess. Drug of choice makes sense. F2F or FTF, face to face. Okay, that makes sense too.
FWB's been around, friends with benefits.
FWB. GOMB, get off my back. I don't know. I think an FU is probably better, more, sufficient, gets the job done in that.
HMU and IMO have been around for a while.
In my IMO, in my opinion, okay.
IRL has been around for a while.
In real life.
Let's have all the sex ones are so not like.
IWSN, I want sex now.
Oh my God.
LH6, let's have sex.
What?
Oh, this one here, kill myself. Yeah, or kill yourself.
Heard that one.
That one's been around for too long. But most of the time, people, they're not using it when they're letting you know they're getting ready to commit suicide. They're using it as one of those. You're
being stupid type of thing. Yeah. It's one of those.
Keeping parents clueless, KPC.
Let me know has been around. Never mind has been around.
Mom over shoulder. That one's been around for a while. Parent over shoulder.
Sugar pic refers to a suggestive or erotic photograph. What?
Sugar pic. By the way, that's not code. If I'm looking down on my kid's phone, I see sugar pic. I don't think I have to go to the internet.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, I don't have to go to the internet to figure out that one. I do use NM for never mind a lot.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty.
I've been LOLing for a long time too.
LOL is a great one. Yeah.
QQ crying.
I think because it looks like two eyes crying if you look at it.
Well done, Sam. I think
but it's
you're right.
still stupid.
Yep.
Just use an emoji.
I think you're right. S2R. Yes. Yeah. How many are there? This is not up to date enough because
These are so no one talks like this.
right. These aren't up to date enough. I bet if you did real research on this, all of these would include an emoji now these days. I'm sure there's still some of those acronyms, but as far as codes and going back and forth, I'm sure a lot of them include emojis, like the. Like the what is it? The eggplant and the water spurting.
Yeah, that's honestly, that's what it is now.
To be honest, want to trade pictures. What's your real name?
Zerg.
Zerg. To gang up on someone, a gaming term that has morphed into a bullying term.
That's horrible, but also what?
That's horrible, but also hilarious.
Like Zerg, like the character from Toy Story. You've seen Toy Story, right?
Yeah. I don't remember which one.
Emperor
which one's Zerg.
Zerg. It's the one that Buzz Lightyear fights.
Okay.
Come on.
Well, listen. I watch these movies once and I enjoy them and I move on.
He looks like Darth Vader in a toy form.
Okay, I know which one you're talking about. Hold on, I don't. Hold on.
Just Google it.
Zerg. Who the hell is Zerg? Images.
Search Emperor Zerg.
All right, Emperor Zerg.
I don't know what this creature is.
Emperor. Whoops.
Oh yeah. Okay. Oh, there you go. There you go.
Okay.
That guy.
That guy. All right.
It's spelt a little bit different, I guess.
Did you just say spelt?
It's spelled. That's what I meant to say. But yes, spelled a little bit different.
Okay. So there we go. All right, and that's our text acronyms. Last night, I guess for those of you that care, you're already following along as far as what happened with the Bucks last night, and they traded down for a 12th round pick in the first round, plus a couple of things happened in the second round, I guess, for them. The Bucks gave up their 7th overall and 7th round pick in exchange for the Bills' number 12 first round pick. And 2 picks. All right, bye-bye. So this guy, the only thing I want to highlight is that, they have him as 6'4", 347. I guess this morning on TV when I was watching, they had him as 6'5", 350. I guess it really doesn't matter. 6'4", 350. 6'4", 350 pounds. What a huge man. Welcome to Tampa. And one of the cool stories, so Vay joins Bucks defensive line that already featured Gerald McCoy and now Jason Pierre-Paul after an offseason move earlier this year. Tampa Bay finished dead last in the NFL in sacks last season. The second round of the NFL draft starts today from Dallas. One of the cool stories I did hear concerning this guy is that he and his family lost their home back in 2009. And so they've been, going apartment to apartment, living out suitcases ever since. And so now he's been drafted. He's a professional ball player. He can buy his family the house they always wanted and not even worry about it. So welcome to Tampa, sir. Looking forward to the team. I mean, I don't have to do much. Just get a little better is all. Make it a little bit more interesting. I don't know, man. I am a Bucks fan, and so I don't need my Bucks to always win. And I know it sounds kind of weird, but I enjoy watching them every year, even when they are sucking it up. The ups and downs of the journey, the growth of Jameis Winston. Yeah, I enjoy it as a fan. Yeah, they don't have to win all the time. Adam Hazel. All right. Well, listen, like I said, this was going to be a short show today, and I apologize for that. Well, maybe I shouldn't apologize. It's good enough. Guys, you go enjoy your Friday, and have a great weekend. Let's see. I'm not out gigging at all this weekend. Oh, I am very excited, and I know this is going to seem like an oxymoron, but I will be painting my house all weekend long, indoors, my wife and I. And I know this is normally one of those things where you would think you'd be like, dude, this sucks. I don't want to do this. But I cannot wait to get paint on the walls, or our paint on the walls. And because we haven't even had anybody over really yet. We moved in November or October. And I think not even a handful of our friends and family have even been over to the house yet. And one of the reasons why is because we want to get a couple things in order. And the painting is one of those things. I missed that one. Sorry about that, Adam and Sharon. So yeah, I really am looking forward to just painting all weekend long and digging. I'm not looking forward to digging up some trees. Some oaks are trying to take root in the back, and one of them is about 8 feet tall. There's a couple around 6 feet, and then the rest are like 3 and 4 feet range. So we got to get those bad boys up before they really take root, and then get a fence put in. Oh, there's another thing. Holy smokes! When was the last time you guys went pricing fences to get in? Oh, we don't have to do a full backyard. It's like you only have to do maybe 3/4, not even of what would be a full backyard. It's like a half a backyard, and so far both the prices that we got are over $3,000. Like, holy crap, when it's all said and done. So, all right, there we go. That is that. Have a great weekend. Be safe. Be kind to yourself. Be good to your fellow man. And what are you doing?
I was triggered. So I figured
You were triggered. All right, come on up and sit down then. You're yeah. So let's welcome. Well, that's funny. Let's welcome in Cords from Bake More Pies. How you doing, Cords?
great, man. How you doing?
Doing all right. So what brings you up to the cave here?
I don't feel like I've seen you enough this week, Chris.
Oh, all right. So what would you like to chat about today?
I don't know what's going on.
Here's you bring the trigger thing, and so did you know that we already brought that up on the show earlier?
Sam told me downstairs.
Okay.
I was like, I'm gonna go play with Chris.
All right, so she brought up the trigger thing. So the other day, Chris and I kind of go at it a little bit once we get off the air. We're in the main psych room, and our conversation gets a little heated. It's not pointed in you're this or you're this. Not in that category at all. It's just that our voices are raised, and we are both trying to make points about something. And one of the reasons why I kind of lost it emotionally, instead of keeping it down here and be like, I'm just having a regular conversation, I kind of lost it because I said to Cords afterwards and everybody when I was telling the story, I was triggered at one point, especially when Chris said, well, because all guys are like this and that I just lose my damn mind. And Cords was like, I hate that term triggered. What is it about trigger that you hate?
I don't know. It just feels weak. It's like weak sauce.
Right. And I know exactly what you mean by that. Because in the moment he's like, well, listen, when those emotions are starting to take it, that's when you, as a human, you're not an ant, you're more than just an animal. You're a human. You have the ability to take control of your emotions, push that shit down.
Well, I didn't say take control of. Just recognize that you're having those emotions. Like, hey, I'm picking up on a little bit of anger here. I'm picking up on a little bit of something. So then you get to decide what you do next.
And that's when that's where you and I will disagree on what happens next, because I think that's a fallacy. Now, in some cases, yeah, you feel the anger well up and you make sure you keep it under control, but that's not always the case. And that's also why I go back to when I was with Dr. O'Brien years ago, and he brought up PTSD for me, that it felt a little bit, those symptoms felt a little bit more in line with what I was experiencing. So let's go back 20 years. In that moment you're talking about, I would have not have lost it in that moment. But in recent years, there are these things that when they happen, I feel that thing wells up and then spills out before I get a chance to really get a hold of it. And it's not till afterwards that you look back and go, damn it, why did I act like that in that moment? Why couldn't I have better control of my emotions in that moment? So I don't know what it is, but with that being said, from a different angle, Cords, I look at it. If I'm not careful, I look at it as weakness too. I'm too weak-minded now.
No, it's
to
not
control
weak. So let me clarify. I'm not saying that the person is weak. I think the attitude is weak. Does that make sense? You're not weak, Chris. It's the whole. It's an attitude of being affected.
I think the reason that the word trigger triggers you is because trigger has been a word used by the people philosophically who are on the opposite side of their world of a worldview than you. It's been the liberal progressives that use the term trigger for the most part.
The delicate flowers.
See, now I think we're getting somewhere. Well, think of it. You have a lot of delicate. You have a tendency to hire people with anxiety disorders. You have delicate flowers all around you.
That's not true.
Well, I know there's a couple people. How many people work here? 15?
About.
All right. How many of them out loud? I'm not even delving into anybody's medical secrets. How many people out loud share that they have some pretty serious anxiety issues?
So let me see if I can explain. No one works here that, like, there's a difference between knowing you have an anxiety issue or something like that and knowing you want to do something about it that's positive. It's like there's what happens next. It's like basking in your triggeredness is where I have an issue.
I see what you're saying. Okay, so now this is where you and I are going to line up and agree on something. And because you're right, there are, it seems like if we're not careful, for those of us that can be triggered, yes, there are those that will stay in that moment. And it's like it even almost feels, or it feels like they are more comfortable in those moments when they're being triggered and they're being a victim.
Yeah, it's power.
Right. Versus, like, for me, when that stuff happens and then afterwards and I reflect on it, I beat myself. I'm like, damn it, how'd you let yourself, how did you let that get you so worked up where you couldn't control your emotions in that moment? And so I think about it and I try to make it better and I talk about it out loud so that the next time that it happens, I can catch it, like you were saying, when it starts to trickle up, go, oh, all of a sudden Cord's voice will come in my head. Here we go again. Are you going to be a snowflake now? Are you going to be? And then I can bring myself back down and go.
I've never said that.
No. But now, because I'll just add your voice to all the other voices in my head.
Yeah,
that helped me get through the day. So, what do you got going on this weekend, man?
So I've got a couple things. We're going to try to catch, I think, the Avengers movie.
Nice.
So it's very cliche. Tonight? No, that'll be tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow afternoon. And then hopefully after that, I'll do a little night fishing. I'm looking forward to that. That'll be fun.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I'm excited about our date night tonight, my wife and I. I'm going to make chicken parm. And then Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. Adam Sandler decided to deal with Netflix to do a few movies. And so one of the movies out right now is he and Chris Rock, and I can't remember the name of it, but basically the premise of the movie is Adam Sandler's daughter is marrying Chris Rock's son. Chris Rock is a celebrated surgeon and very rich. Adam Sandler doesn't have as much money. And so I guess, and he has the daughter. So he's trying to take care of everything and pay for everything and do this and do that while he doesn't have any money. And Chris Rock is trying to help him out and his ego won't allow him. And I guess, comedy ensues from there.
Yeah, that sounds great. I just called it a brand. No, I mean, it does. Sorry, I probably didn't come out very enthusiastic.
Great. We're going to see the Avengers.
No,
I don't have to explain it.
It does. Actually, that sounds better to me than the Avengers, to be honest.
Yeah.
It sounds like a lot more interesting because there seems like there's going to be a lot of twists in there, and I can see how those guys would handle it. I just caught a brand new. Well, it was brand new to me. A movie from Adam Sandler that I really, really liked not too long ago. It's called The Cobbler. Have you seen The Cobbler?
No.
It was awesome.
Really?
In my opinion, it was really good. But I like some pretty oddball movies too. Like I love that movie Bottle Rocket by the Coen Brothers. I love just some the Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson. I love those guys. Like I just love their type of sense of humor where the characters don't realize that they're hilarious. They're just being as serious as they can be. But The Cobbler is really good.
All right. I'll flip the Cobbler on this. Chris Brown wants to know if you're going to go shark fishing.
Probably not. I did a lot of shark fishing when I was younger, and I really, really loved it because you can catch some really big fish, right? My focus lately, I've got a little tiny boat. Y'all would probably laugh if you saw how small my boat is. It's like a double wide canoe. I mean, it's hilarious. But I take some pride in that. It's a genre of boat called a micro skiff.
Okay.
So it's a tiny little Carolina skiff J14. Okay, so the thing's only 14 feet long. Okay.
All right.
And it's rigged with as much electronics.
Did you say J14?
A Carolina skiff J14. Okay. It's tiny, right? And but it's rigged with so many electronics and trolling motor and hydraulic jack plate and side scan sonar and all kinds of things.
So this is it right here behind you?
Yeah, that's how small my boat is. Exactly.
That's perfect.
Actually, that thing's got some features I don't have. I don't have this right here, these grab rails around the side.
Okay.
I do have the center console. I do have the bench. I've got the pulling. So this is similar to mine, But it's fun because these boats are really configurable. Like you can do all kind of modifications to them. Mine's got a 25 horsepower motor on it. But I laugh because in my marina that I keep the boat in now, there's these gigantic $1 million, maybe more than $1 million, giant Scout 42 foot.
I see them every time I drive by there.
With quadruple 350 horsepower engines, and I just laugh because when I pull up to the gas there, I'm filling up, and it takes about 45 seconds because they're putting 3 gallons of gas in my gas tank, and I just filled my 6-gallon gas tank up a half, and I can go about 45, 50 miles on 3 gallons of gas. And so I think it's hilarious because my boat will do 85% of what a lot of these flats boats out there do that cost, $100,000.
When are we going? When are we going out?
Whenever you want, man.
Right.
You want to go Saturday night?
Saturday night, maybe. What are you talking about Saturday night? Is that one of those things where you head out late and you're coming back at like 4 in the morning?
No,
or?
I mean we leave at like 9 o'clock at night, come back at like 11.
All right.
Or 8:30 to like 11 or 10:30 or something.
You know what I have to do? I'll have to talk to the wife because we're supposed to be painting all weekend. So
dude, we can pick another day. It's not going anywhere, and the weather's only getting better. So don't sweat it.
All right. And also, Chris says, I 100% have people like this in my industry, talking about those that, I don't know, sit and wallow in their disorder, their anxiety disorder. But I can also relate. I'm not going to harp on those people. I know, Cord, you can, and Chris, you guys can, because from your perspective, I'm sure as business owners, it can get frustrating sometimes.
No, so it's not about that. It comes from a place of compassion, to be honest with you. It's empathy and compassion because, there may have been a time in my life where I thought, feeling sorry for myself was like a position of power. Maybe I could manipulate people around me because, hey, feel sorry for me. Could you please get me a bowl of soup? You know what I mean? And that's just weak. I mean, to me, that's like, hey, man, pull yourself up. Like, I want to empower people. I want to, like, help them do better things and grow. And so it's, I don't know. It's simple. It's simple.
But some people, for some people, it's simpler than others. And so I'm listening to the radio yesterday. And the talk show. I don't care about talking about other people. I was listening to Cowhead. And Cowhead was talking about Avicii, who just killed him. We just found out that he killed himself. There was a suicide note, and he killed himself. And so I'm not going to put too much on. Maybe I shouldn't have brought up who said this. Oh, by the way, it's not Cowhead anymore. Mike Calta. Sorry, Mike Calta. I probably shouldn't have brought up who it is because I don't want to. This is not about them, but this is the way a lot of people see things. He said something to the effect of, well, I don't, because people were going like, they saw this coming, and he saw this coming, suicide, and he's like, what, this guy's worth millions of dollars. He's traveling the world, being a DJ, making music. He's like, if that, I don't know what to tell you. If that's not going to make you happy, nothing is. So basically dismissing. I don't get it. Why would you kill yourself? You have everything, and that's where. Hopefully over the years, I will do a good job of bringing in experts, bringing in people, translating, or not translating, but sharing stories so that people can understand that happiness has nothing to do with money.
I agree with that completely.
And you could have everything. Look, Chester Bennington, all these famous people that have killed themselves, they had Robin Williams, they had everything.
Right.
So you have to understand that there's other things going on in the brain that you just don't see, you don't understand.
Well, that to me, if you look at some really wealthy people around town and just pretty much anywhere, you look at these organizations like Metropolitan Ministries, and you see some of these super successful people, and sometimes people are born into it. We were at that event not too long ago where the DeBartolo event that we were invited to go to. I didn't have the money to pay the thousands of dollars to sit at that table. But the lady, the executive director of the organization, that's what she does. And 99% of the money goes right back to, or 100% of the money goes right into where it's good for. And there's a ton of fulfillment. I mean, maybe this guy who killed himself, who had all the opportunity and all the ability to earn millions and millions of dollars, who basically had everything, maybe he didn't feel fulfilled because, fulfillment comes from giving back. It's building, and to me, it's building people. It's building helping people, being able to put together systems and things that like they perpetuate themselves and serve. It's like I view, we can talk political real quick. I mean, I see capitalism as the greatest force for good imaginable because of how it's really a system where everyone is able to make a living or earn by serving others.
The only thing I would add to that statement is you're right. You're half right, because capitalism can also be the exact opposite and destroy communities, destroy people, because you have people at the top who basically get power and control.
That's why we need people like Vinny, right? So Vinny, who was in here, Vinny Tafuro, and where he was talking about compassionate capitalism and things like that, right? So you understanding like what you're doing, so that way you can. I mean, you obviously want to perpetuate that and turn that into more of a system that can power itself, right? And so getting back to where we started, triggered. That's the problem I have with that whole thing, is that it's triggered is more of like a state of like it's power through of being affected to me. And I mean, maybe, I mean, it depends how we define it, but like I can feel triggered. I can, in terms of like, oh gosh, well, this was just said that makes me angry. Yeah, it was like, whoa, like I'm picking up on that, but it's like, to me, it doesn't account for what happens next, and that's what I think makes the difference.
Okay. And listen, when we're talking about that term triggered, and we go back to these stories over the past couple of years coming out of colleges where there's trigger warnings and all this kind of stuff. Yes, they can get way out of control at people, but I also believe that in those moments or those things are they're done with a good heart. The people trying to go, okay, everybody has some sensitivity issues, some anxiety, so let's bring everything down a notch so that everybody can walk through life without anxiety. So I do appreciate the thought behind it. That's just not realistic. And in the end, it's probably better for us to figure out how to manage our anxieties in those moments than it is to get everybody else in the world to not move.
Right. I mean,
so I don't get all freaked out.
Right. Exactly. It's like we're driving everybody down to the lowest common denominator, where we should look at ways to lift people up and empower people. And hey, maybe if you feel triggered, or Chris, you're finding yourself triggered more often, well, instead of avoiding the situations, why don't we get more practice?
Yeah.
Let's go get more triggered. Yeah, and let's see how we manage it, right?
Yeah. That's the immersion therapy, I believe is what they call it. Immersion. No, really, immersion therapy, where you go into that situation and you stay in that situation, usually with somebody else to help you out, and you breathe through it. For instance, that's when, like, if you have fear of heights. That kind of therapy would be, you have fear of heights. Is that what you? Yeah, no kidding. So what they might do is you come in, you're having a sessions, and you stand up on a chair. You stand up a chair. There's somebody right there. You're like, how do you feel? I'm all right. This and this and this. All right. Well, now let's get up on the desk. Now let's and you just slowly keep doing that with somebody else. Breathe your way through it, and then you do that enough time. The thought is, you can reverse some of that stuff. At the same time, though, you got to be careful with that kind of stuff, like just pushing a child into the end of a pool, go and swim, because as we've talked about with the people from ART, accelerated research training,
accelerated resolution therapy.
Resolution therapy. They said, that you got to be careful with that, because you can do the opposite. You can make it worse if you try to keep, introducing somebody into a situation thinking you're making it better, and all you're doing is reinforcing that anxiety and those fears.
But okay, so all of that's cool, right? But think about the opportunity these people get by going to the Grand Canyon, right? So they get, for that same ticket, let's say they charged you, right, to go look over the edge or whatnot. The people who have fear of heights are getting so much more adrenaline out of that than the people who don't, right? They're getting like a lot more of their money's worth.
Well, unless they go walking out on that what you're talking about, that viewing sidewalk, and they just collapse and can't move. They're just, you're right. They're getting a lot out in that moment.
Exactly.
Yeah. In the end, if they live through it, which they will, then you're right. At the end, it was a lot more of an exhilarating experience.
Exactly. Look at all that opportunity, right? Life's more exciting.
Chris, he goes, in my position, I've learned a lot from those situations. If I did freak out on someone or some situation, I make sure I learn from that and be aware of when that situation arrives again, and approach it differently. Usually I take some deep breaths and talk shit in my head and then try to listen instead of reacting and then making my word choice after that. So, yep, no, you're exactly right. And that's what I was talking about with when Chris and
Chris.
when Chris and I got into it the other day, and it got elevated because he said a couple of things that just, I don't know of a better term. I don't want to use the term trigger.
No,
but
I know what it was.
Set me off.
So I know a little bit about that conversation.
It's
because what he was saying
was so ludicrous,
was so out of character for him, right? You've known him for years, and you're like, oh my god, like why did he say that?
Right.
Right.
It was bothering me that he sounded. Again, I don't want to have this conversation without Chris in here, so
right.
we have to come back to Chris McCarty when he's in here next week because I don't want to make it sound like we're talking behind his back. But yeah, that was a part of it. Because to me, all of a sudden, I was getting angry that he sounded like other people that just make me angry, and that's all it was. So that's all right, Chris. We made it through, buddy. Don't worry. Talking back to Chris Brown now.
Yeah, I like a lot of what Chris is saying. Brown. We're gonna have to start calling all these Chris's by their last name. There's a lot of Chris's around here, so I like a lot of what he's saying. And Chris, what do you do for a living? Like, are you a line worker or do you manage people?
It sounds like he manages people.
Exactly.
Also, you're excited about the 100th episode next week.
I'm pumped about that. We've got some big stuff happening.
Yep. It'll be sponsored by Dats Group. Do you know if they got any restaurant they want us to focus on in particular?
I think it's going to be Dats.
Okay. So it's sponsored by Dats next week. Very excited about that. Mm-hmm. And we'll be doing giveaways thanks to Dats. We'll have 4 giveaways during the show as well. I think I need to get with Tony to get those.
Tony P.
Yeah, get with Tony and get those. But that'll be next Wednesday, our 100th episode. Down in the can I ask production wise?
Sure.
Are we going to try to set up everything downstairs very similar to what we do here, where I'm running everything, or are we going to have Todd doing switching and set up the set a little bit differently?
I think we're gonna let. So it depends on you. So what I can do is I can give you a control panel because the system downstairs is infinitely more sophisticated than what we're running upstairs.
Right.
I can give you a wireless control panel that you can run every single thing that you're doing now. And then that way...
Off the iPad?
Yeah, off of an iPad. So you can just touch the screen. And then you can run everything. And then we can also have, if you want to get up and freestyle a little bit, we can also have another person have access to the exact same control panel. Maybe Chris Brown, that would be a good day for you to come in.
Yeah.
And maybe he can punch some buttons or Todd can punch some buttons. And then... I was talking to Todd yesterday, and he said he would switch if we wanted. Perfect. That's perfect. So you can get up and, Yeah.
Sharon, we're gonna have to bring that up with Chris when he's in here. I think that. Oh wait, hold on. Chris is calling. Hold on. Let me see if I can bring him up real quick. What are you doing? Just continue as Chris Fisher. Hurry! I'm getting a phone call. Oh, it went away.
So we trying to bring him in through a wireless? Is this Chris Brown calling in?
No, this was Chris.
Again, last names.
Well, this is weird.
Yeah.
Oh, he was using... Yeah. Oh, I know why it was coming through here. All right. Hold on a second. Let's bring up Chris over here, I think. What am I going to do here? I'm accidentally calling somebody, I think. Hold on. There he is. Damn it. Now I've just ruined it. How come it... I hate that I'm so ignorant when it comes to the internet.
Got to give some heads up.
Just even the simplest thing. Oh, here we go. All right. Call back. This should work. I think.
All right. So we're going to try to bring him back in?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Let's see. As a tech in the field, if you blow up on people, they will just walk out of a set or tear down.
Your clients love that.
Yeah, this industry will give you a crash course on how not to treat certain situations. All right, not reachable according to this. That's all right. I don't want to do this over video phone anyway. I'd rather have this conversation once Chris gets in here. So, what are the dates you're talking about downstairs? That's next Wednesday. Next Wednesday, May the...
Was that McCarty or Brown coming in?
No, McCarty.
That was McCarty.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
And the reason I was so confused is because it was popping up on this computer over here. I'm like, it shouldn't be popping up. It should be over here. And then it dawned on me why, but I'm not going to bore you with those details. So we'll come back to that discussion with Chris McCarty next week. All right.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Thank you so much for being a part of the Wake.Show. Don't forget, on Wednesday, we will have our 100th episode. We'll be doing giveaways. Chris Brown, you are invited to come down. I also want to invite some other people to come down if they can make it. And, and I got a food truck coming by on Monday, just in a little FYI.
Nice.
And you were saying about 15 people here at the office. You're going to bring food for 15 people. So my buddy, because here's the thing, Chris doesn't come in on Mondays. So my buddy Joey was in the Marines, and he's out there schlepping, man, working hard. He's always got his food truck somewhere at some event. And so he's going to come by. We're going to talk, he's going to just be my co-host for the day. But he said he's going to bring some food by for everybody here at the office on Monday as well. So I think that'll be either chicken tacos or pork tacos. So I'm letting you know. All right. Make sure you follow Bake More Pies on Facebook. Like them. And if you need help with your organization or your business, getting your brand out there, letting people know about what's going on in your world, contact Bake More Pies and we'll help you out with your online digital marketing and production as well. Anything else there, mister? Before we get going, you're good?
I feel complete.
All right, good. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Be kind to yourself. Be good to your fellow man. And most importantly, let your crazy breathe.